Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Greater Lynn. We gather this morning amid the beauty of a summer day to remember more deeply who we are and who we are called to be. And today to celebrate the ministry of music and the ministry of Kenneth Griffith. Whoever you are, whatever has brought you here today, we hope that you will feel the embrace or the possibility of spiritual community. Here we understand the act of singing not ever as a performance or a competition, but as an act of prayer, worship, an expression of life itself making its way through us. What did you just sing? Something of your essence to something the thirsty world. What was it? Flows. Something of your essence flows out into the thirsty world. In that spirit, do we raise our voices in song this morning as a congregation? This is a call and response song. So after you get the tune and the rhythm, and most of you already know it, you can look away from your hymnal. Amazing! And we will prompt you with the lyrics. So let's sing Come and Go With Me.
There will be justice in that land. There will be justice in that land. There will be justice in that land. Where I'm bound. There will be justice in that land. There will be justice in that land. There will be justice in that land. Where I'm bound. Come and go with me. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Where I'm bound. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Come and go with me to that land. Where I'm bound.
We light this chalice for the music makers and the dreamers of dreams, for the ones who spark the light of inspiration, and those who tend the hearth fire of community. I want to share some words written thousands of years ago by someone we only know as the psalmist, who is multiple people probably. And this is from the Song of Ascents. So it's when the pilgrims went up to the holy city for Passover or for different festivals. And you may recognize Psalm 121, but I invite us into a spirit of prayer and meditation and a kind of communion across many, many centuries. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot slip. The one who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, the one who watches over the people will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. She will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Let these words of reassurance be our prayer for a beloved friend who goes forth to new ventures. Let it be our prayer for ourselves, to bless each other thus, to affirm that there is a protective field that holds, guides, and guards us, whatever our fate or fortune. Whatever happens in our lives, whatever slings and arrows may beset us, whatever challenges, here in this sanctuary we trust and remember that the sanctity of our souls can never be ruined or violated. We are whole. Where there are hurts everywhere, may we experience healing. Where there are failures, may all be open to learning. Where there are losses, may we respect and companion one another through honest grief at our own pace. Where there is confusion and uncertainty, let us find common ground in simplicity. Where there is suffering of body, mind, or soul, may the ever-present love that abides always within creation visit those places and hold them in comforting love. Let the music now minister to us. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
This is a dialogue sermon or conversation called Thank You for the Music. So Kenneth Griffith III, I got an email on June 3rd, 2017. A very promising email from you saying, hello, I heard about the opening for your director of music, and attached to it was a very impressive resume. And I was very excited, and I got to meet you soon after that. You heard about the job opening?
Yeah, so I had just been sort of interim choir director at First Parish in Concord, and my experience before then, and that's where I met Francine. My experience with UUs really growing up in Cincinnati was not a lot. There was a UU church that the Cincinnati Boy Choir we would have a concert in, so I'd get to go to a UU church once a year, and but never during a service. And then when I came here, I started to sub as a pianist at UU Church in Concord, and what I found was that people loved the music and people sang, and it was you play a prelude and you add an interesting harmonization under a hymn, and people just were excited and jazzed about it, and I got just I don't know, and everyone's a little weird, and I thought that was great because I felt like I found my people. So it's like, oh, I can be myself here, by virtue of being there over a couple of years, just occasionally as a sub pianist, when Beth Norton went on a sabbatical, who's the choir director there, she asked me to fill in. And I just really, really loved working with her choir and having this little taste of the UU world and people and community, and I thought the music was interesting. I thought it was the first time for me growing up, having grown up in a Protestant space, where I felt like I could bring all of myself to a church. And still feel convicted, and like there was something that was meaningful, in the gathering of the people there. At the end of that time, it was only going to be like 6 months or something like that. At the end of that time, one of the people there suggested that I do this full time, or at least more regularly, as in have a standing position, and forwarded me along this position, and that's how I found out about UUCGL.
There you were.
Yeah.
And you were living in North Andover at the time.
I was living in North Andover at the time.
Yeah.
Brooks School. Yeah.
That was big, yeah.
Yeah. And at that point, I wasn't. I don't think I had become like director of the chapel music yet, but I was kind of helping in their church world, because Brooks was an Episcopal school, has a loose affiliation, and was not a singing community really, so trying to figure out how to do that was interesting. And when I started to incorporate things from the UU church and UU hymnals, right, then things went a lot better. And and the kids love it, and they love Blue Boat Home, Blue Boat Home, and
okay,
where do you come from, and all these things that are, anyway, it was just all the music resonated with me, and so I just wanted to come in deeper.
So you and I talk a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk a lot about worship and the meaning of music in worship and how can we get everybody singing more confidently. And of course, we talk a lot about the choir, which is really a beautiful, very intimate community. People who sing together get really close because they're breathing together and they're making music, and that's just a very intimate act. So I wanted to ask you to share with the congregation some of like what we've talked about a lot, which is what's the difference between singing and singing on American Idol and singing, in a concert choir or being a pro, or what's special or what's different? What do you want us to know about singing and music in a congregational setting, in a church setting?
Well, I think one of the things that is important to know is that I think a lot of people do come to singing in a church community for a lot of different reasons. That they might come for community, which there's plenty of there. Might come because that's how they feel like they worship. That's there, and and maybe they also say, this choir is just really good, and I want to be a part of that, and that's also a thing. But as we're in this time together. One of the things I really love about the UU Church and also my work at BCC is that you're also sort of singing for this larger cause, right? To make the world better, not just so that you feel better. That's sort of part of it too. If you sing choir, you'll feel better. I promise you will. But also, that you get to uplift each other in this space. But then when you're part of the congregation or this worship experience, you're also sort of facilitating other people's experience in church. So that warm feeling that you have, or the care that you feel when you sing a particular song, or the passion you have where you're thinking about saving animals or cleaning up the beach, those are things that you have to find a way to sort of channel and externalize this internal feeling that you have for the congregation, so that the congregation, can also feel good and comfortable in the space and realize it's possible for them too, even if they're not actively singing.
What about congregational singing for those who feel like, I can't sing? What do you have to say about that to those people?
I think that it's about the act of community and being together, and you can have an amazing voice. You can feel like maybe you have a shower only voice or a car only voice, but all of those voices matter in this time, and it's one of those things. And I'll get off of the horse here, or the soapbox rather. I think that if you don't sing in church because you're like holding on to some weird thing you feel about your own voice, it's actually depriving the community of something special.
Yeah.
So in some way, and so this is me putting on like my musician hat and my choir director hat, sing. But it's a little selfish in a way, because your neighbor doesn't get to hear your contribution to this, and not only that, but it's a risk, right, to sing. Singing is vulnerable. It's not like, sorry, Max, you're over there, but not like playing the piano, where you hit the key, and if the key is, if the piano's out of tune, then it's the instrument, it's not you.
It's a clunker.
Yeah, it's a clunker. Yeah. But, so I understand it's a vulnerable thing to sing. But it's also, I think, really freeing. My husband's not a singer, but he's very musical. We do a lot of parodies, lots of Mamma Mia things in my house. But one of the things we did, we do regularly. Well, I'm trying to do. I've done a little bit more this summer. Is go to yoga class together, and one of those things is the Om. And if any of you never been, and for me, my whole time in the Om, had been like, great, so I'm gonna listen to everyone else, kind of figure out where their pitch is, and blend into their Om, My husband doesn't do that. He's like, this is my Om, and this is where I am. I hope other people can figure it out. And it used to kind of irk me a little bit, because I'm like, just blend, just figure it out. But really, it's one of the things I've come to appreciate about him and actually about that studio in particular, because I think he sings out so boldly, and it's the only time he really sings out boldly that like other people do that. So it is a little cacophonous. But there's something that's nice about everyone bringing themselves and being open in that moment, and I think that adds to the in that space. So I think that transfers to church, congregational singing, and like the organ can be loud or the piano can be loud. Just sing out and and have
release
fun.
the wherever you are, because it doesn't right. Some people are like, I can't hold a tune. That's okay. It's church.
And that's also choir. There are plenty of people who can't hold a tune, who sing in choirs, and they're uplifted by the other people around them, and that's okay. Yeah. And choir directors like me try to put you near people who can help you. So that's also something to think about.
One of the things you say a lot to me about how much you love this congregation and what you have to thank it for is that you met your husband because you got this gig, essentially. Do you want to just say a little word about that?
Yeah. Well, as a gigging musician, and I was working for, I guess I've already said it, I was working for school, and I wasn't making that much money. So, it's like any time there was a gig, I was like, I got to take it, I got to go, I got to do this thing. All my nights were going to, this $10 something, so I could like pay a bill. And when I came here and I got to have this benefit of community and just something stable, it gave me space in my personal life too to like be in this community, but then to have a little bit more free time. So I was able to date and drive down to Boston, and he was in Cambridge, at the time. So I got to have date nights and I think also just seeing such lovely people here and in warm relationships, and think about like Clem and Bonnie, that it's nice to see, and Evan and Liz too. It's nice to see all of these, just like, I don't know, just great community where it feels like, I want that too. I want to be able to do that, and by being here and being able to see the people here and have this position, it gave me a little bit more time and space in my personal life, and also a little bit of the courage to put myself out there, even though it's risky and even though it's vulnerable and even though you can get hurt, like in congregational singing. But, but you do it anyway, and it can pay off.
I want to ask you about some of your highlight memories here, if you had any that came to mind when I gave you these questions, if there are any moments that were just peak moments.
Yeah, there are a handful, I think, that I'd share. And I mean, actually, there are a lot of them, but I'll share maybe just a couple. And I thought about like writing everything down and doing that, but I was like, I think it's gonna come off the dome, and then the people who I have memories with, like even if they don't get out here, we know that we had them.
Yeah.
But I think a few things. One, actually, coming in, and you mentioned, in June of 2017, and thinking about just sort of initial rehearsal with choir, and corresponding with Misha a little bit ahead of time, and trying to figure out, well, what songs do I prep? What do I bring? And she's like, well, you'll never know where you're going to get. Like, you might get this, you might not get, who's going to be there, who's not going to be there, and I remember being like really anxious about it, and being like, how am I supposed to prepare for this thing? I don't know who's going to be there. And just, I think just my first rehearsal with everyone here, just feeling so warm and comfortable and confident with you all, and that you're like willing to risk things, and I try to make you move and do silly things, and you all are just like kind of right there with me. And I was a young warthog at the time, so I probably just asked you to do some dumb stuff, but you're right there. And I don't know, just that initial meeting felt really just heartwarming for me, and felt like a space that I could come into. Beyond that, our first service, actually, I don't think went very well. We were singing CQ to Chervus. It was terrible. Actually, it was really it was not great, and I remember thinking, as we're performing, I'm like, I'm gonna get fired before noon, um, and and you didn't fire me. People like say, oh, thank you so much for the music, and I was like, oh, well, thank you so much for letting me stay. I don't know that I would have been as generous. But we've adjusted, and we've performed it multiple times since then. And so anytime we perform Siku Chervus, I do feel a little like bitter, but it's always it's gone very well. I also think a lot about this is recent and maybe a little sad, but also joyful. When we got to do the bird walk for John and celebrating his life, I had never gotten to do them while he was you're offering them. So I was like, well, I have to do this, and Trish was like very careful to what date can you be there? And I was like, there we are, and I was able to be there and to be able to celebrate his life with that felt really meaningful to me. One of the things that I think is important for me personally and I've realized this over time in my professional spaces, to feel like a personal connection and like a person and connected to the people in some way, and I felt that here over my time. So I just wanted to share that. I really enjoyed when we got to do. I know they're kind of the bigger things, but we did the Magnificat of Vivaldi, which was lovely, and we interspersed in the service, and it was really great to partner with you in that, because it's like we'll do a movement here, and then we'll have some churching, and then a movement here and some churching, and it was just I like how we get to partner together and be creative. I enjoyed the Missa Festiva that we did with the orchestra. For me, I when I think about that, compared to kind of a few years earlier, pre-pandemic, we did this like Telemon piece with 2 violins. It was like our last Sunday, and I got a concussion like right before, and still came here, and I was like little dazed, and it was okay. It was good, but that there was sort of I don't know, like a growth, beyond that. That we were able to do with all these instruments, and to do a full work that felt really, really lovely. And I'll just share maybe just one more. And I'll keep it very general. I really also enjoy our choir parties, and I know you don't always get to come to them, so I'm sorry. But what I enjoy about that time is, we sing, but we just get to be in community and dine together, and talk, and I get to learn a little bit more about your lives. I'll add one more. Martha Curry, I saw, is around somewhere. I also really enjoy when we get to do like sort of the social justice ministry type things, and really any of the Layla services, because it gives me an opportunity to just sort of be in closer contact with the congregation, and to figure out sort of, I don't know, I feel like you all get to see a little bit of how the what
sausage
is it?
gets made.
Yes, thank you. The sausage gets made, and we get to kind of choose the flavors together, and there's this song that I keep singing in other places. Healing is possible, may it be so. That's come up a bunch in other spaces, so I think about that moment too. And there are really so many more. Amanda's wedding here. Oh yeah. Having the opportunity to work with children in the pre-Chris time, but and to sing a little joy in the heart,
that's right.
as well. So that and I feel I'm talking a lot because I don't want anyone to feel left out because I haven't said something about you. But I don't know. I could say this. It's not related to church, but also Trudy and getting to see you perform. I don't know. The people here, just you live such rich and full lives, and that you share them so openly with me. Even though like I drive in and I have a rehearsal, and you see me in church on Sunday, and then you could easily just say goodbye, like thank you for the music, and only the music and nothing else. And you don't. You have just included me in all the ways. And it's been very meaningful to me. So, thank you.
A highlight for me was during the pandemic shutdown, which we haven't even hit on. I mean, we went online with no preparation, nothing, no knowledge, no tech knowledge. You were like, the scream is accurate. You were my saving grace, really, because March 2019 hits, and you and I were up till 2 and 3 in the morning, texting each other, calling each other, trying to understand technology that we'd never worked with, pivoting, and it was so scary, and it was so insane. And we were like working with all of these things like Zoom and video editing. And then you actually got to the point where you had the choir singing. I mean, this has to be remembered. Singing at home individually. Honest to God, he managed to do this. Recording themselves. So to all of you who did that, sent out the music, had them record themselves individually, and then he edited it together to create a full choral experience. Meanwhile, I was learning how to edit, record segments and going out in the woods and like recording myself walking among the trees and then doing audio recording of a meditation and then calling Kenneth and going, the audio's not working, I don't know what to do. And he would talk me off the ledge. And then, we were doing that all behind the scenes, and then we'd go live on Sunday mornings. After a while, we went live on Zoom. And you know what we would have? We would have like
so many devices.
4 devices. We would have like an iPad here with our script, or I would have this script, and then I had my laptop here where I was, on the screen with folks, and we were watching people's like laps. People were coming and signing onto Zoom with like a bowl of cereal and their lap, and we'd be like, you gotta mute. You gotta turn the camera off of Ken and Sarah because they're drinking coffee and they're clanking. And so we would be texting each other on our phones. So also on the side.
The importance of the side chat is...
Absolutely. Having nervous breakdowns and going, oh my God, I forgot to upload the offertory segment.
It's like, no worries, we've got a few of them in the bank.
And he got to the point, yes, exactly. Literally while we were leading the service, I'd be texting Kenneth and going, I forgot to upload the benediction. And he'd go, texting back, no worries, I have one. And he would be like uploading it in the moment so that when we got to that point of the service, no one knew. And we would I would be like wearing my pajama bottoms and a blazer and a blouse and like nice earrings. And I would be in a cold drenched sweat after that thing was over. And we would have coffee hour after the fact. So you were so central to my memory of getting through that time. And also Kenneth, along with Elizabeth and everybody that worked on safety stuff that we had to review that was so serious about building safety and social distancing. And you were bringing us a lot of wisdom from Brooks School and also the choral societies that were like trying things out. And then the choir came back and sang with masks.
And part of that is actually Jim Olivetti too, because to the choir's credit, when you all were doing lots of recordings, a lot of recordings, and I think we got to the fall, and Jim, you're like, look, I don't have any more of these online things in me. I don't want to record anymore. And I was like, okay, well, I think we do have to come back because we need our bass. And I don't know if you remember that, but I remember that because I remember thinking, okay, I really enjoyed the recordings because by the end you do get to just kind of figure out all this stuff. Like, oh, well, that crescendo wasn't exactly as much as I wanted, but I can do it, like, behind the scenes.
We'd say, we'll fix it in post-production.
Exactly. But it was really nice. I think actually still, and a lot of people, choral communities just went away during the pandemic. They just stopped meeting, and we had rehearsals still. We got to see each other online, and put in that work. And I think the strength of that community really helped me a lot in the pandemic too.
I remember it was so exciting because I drove up to see you. I was like, I got to see him in person. And I drove up to Andover and met with you on campus, and it was a really hot August day. And we were like, so far away from each other with masks. What's one thing that you would wish for us as you move on? One thing for UUCGL.
I'll give you two. One, that people continue to honor their pledges and keep giving to the church, so that this just beautiful community can continue to be here, not just for this year or for next year, but for the next 100 years. And I know that's a little plug there for money, but it is. It's a reality. We just got to care about it. And I think when we know we know what we need to keep the place going and the community going, and we have to put our money where our values are. But beyond that, that you continue to love each other, that you continue to show up, that you smile here, that you take the time to celebrate each other. Thank you for this. Oh, sorry.
No, understood.
Yeah, it's just such a very special place, and I just want you to know and appreciate that in case you don't, or that you forget. Just wake up in the morning and have it on a magnet on your refrigerator, and you can remember to love this place, or to appreciate this place, or that this place has so much value and care and love. So that you just continue that, honestly.
Thank you. And to support Destiny Cooper, who will be our interim music director. And there she is. And I believe you have an anthem.
We do. We will.
We will.
It's a long, long road we've set our feet upon. A long road we've set our feet upon. And with loving hearts we walk on. Loving hearts walk on. We will walk on. We will walk on. Bridges are built with open hands. Bridges are built with open hands. We begin to heal the world. We begin to heal the world. We will heal the world. We will heal the world. We will heal the world. And when the sun shines through all of us, there on the road will be a rainbow in front of us wherever we go, wherever we go. Take a single flame and pass it on. Take a single flame and pass it on. It's enough to light the way. It's enough to light the way. We will light the way. We will light the way. We will light the way.
When the sun shines through all of us, there on the road will be a rainbow in front of us wherever you go, wherever we go. All the souls who come before us are standing here. The souls who came before us standing here. You can hear them whisper low. You can hear them whisper low. We will walk with you. We will walk with you. We will light the way. We will light the way. We will heal the world. We will heal the world. We will walk on. We will walk on. We will walk on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Just one aside, if I had been Kenneth and asked about high points, I would have not been subtle. I would have been bragged that I directed the Boston Children's Choir on the Esplanade 4th of July with the Boston Pops. I would have bragged. Thank you, Vicki, for allowing me to do this. This is a poem written on behalf of my dear friends in the UUCGL for Kenneth Griffith. Kenneth's magic. He waves his hands and weaves our singing into a tapestry of sound with patience and humor, the tilt of his head, the wide smile that only our choir sees. He funnels our voices high, low, and in between into the meter and melody. We reach the goal of harmony as David's fingers guide the keyboard, connecting us with each other. Kenneth gives us the lift to keep on singing. He is the gift that keeps on giving.
This is the special hymn for the morning. Kenneth doesn't know about it, but you will see to the tune of How Can I Keep From Singing, we will sing this.
The
This is our holy water collected by the congregation from their special places of renewal and joy over the summers. And we have the water communion and in gathering every year, and you have joined us and been with us for many of those. So as we do sometimes, bless our friends and loved ones as they go forth, and commission them to bring the love of this community and to know that it goes with you wherever you go. I won't put it on your lips, but in your singing face and your good heart. Go with our love.
May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and rain fall soft upon your feet. And rain falls soft upon your feet. And until we meet again, until we meet again, and until we meet again, may love hold you in the palm of her hand.
Service is ended. The party begins. Go in peace.